All right, me with the double fake out. This time for real. Welcome in, Ozmourn.
All right, I'm taking that as my cue to start talking and get this show on the road.
Oh,
All right, wonderful. Hello, everyone. My name is Ozmourn, and here we are going to play Superliminal Glitchless. And with me, I have the amazing Archmage on commentary. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, I'm Archmage. I'll be just kind of commentating, explaining some of the mechanics and the tricks you'll be seeing in the run.
All right, then. But with that being said, we can just... Oh, wait, there's no game audio because I'm cut out of the game. How about that? Maybe we should listen to that. But with that being said, we did have some technical difficulties, but hopefully everything will be going well underway now. But timer does not start when we enter the first level, but rather it starts when we walk through the first door right here. You see, it's there and now it's not. We're gonna sign the terms of service for good luck because that's just who we are, you know. All right, but with that, with everything, Archmage, you want to give us a countdown, please?
Yeah, for sure. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, wait. Actually, restart the timer. I apologize because I don't have the IGT turned on.
Oh yeah, gotcha. That is important. Yeah, this game,
Yes.
fortunately, does have an in-game timer that pauses during loads, which is nice to have.
Yes. There we go. Wonderful. All right. Apologies. But now we can get the show on the road. Okay. Go ahead, Archmage.
Yeah, totally. So, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Wonderful. Archmage, you want to start off by explaining kind of the base mechanics behind Superliminal and what this run is going to be like?
Yeah, totally. So the main mechanic you'll be seeing most throughout the run is kind of perspective-based object resizing. So for this game, you can grab an object no matter how far away it is, and it will essentially be where it appears to be and the size that it appears to be. So if you put it far away, it'll be big and it'll be far away. If you put it close to you, it'll be smaller, but it'll be nearby. Mm-hmm. So we can use that in a variety of ways to our advantage. And honestly, one of the biggest things is that like you don't have to be near an object to grab it, right? You can just grab it from all the way over there, put it on the button over there, and you're through.
This is like the best example of it. And now it's
Yep, cheese all the way over there. Yeah, and now it's huge.
Wonderful. But we're going to be seeing a lot of different... oh, dang. So I am unfortunately getting a bit of a in-game lag. Like that's not even OBS or the stream happening. That is like my game itself. We don't really know why it's happening, but we're losing some frames in the game. So, you know, we're going to take it slow. We're not going to, you know, try and do any major tricks due to that today, you know. But
yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. But, you know, the show must go on. So we're going to keep doing the run. It's not too bad. Yeah. It can improve in certain places too. Right here, we're going to have a good example of just the puzzle lining itself up for us, where you can just resize the sign and put it right there so that I can press those two buttons. But Induction itself is like one of the most reset heavy levels possible, mainly because it's incredibly precise in its tricks, and also, you know, it's the first level, so people just tend to reset naturally that much anyway.
Yeah. So note about that cheese that we just used there. The way the physics in the game work, when an object is falling, you can push it around with your player hitbox. So we can use that to push the cheese into those fake walls and then use that to knock the walls down, rather than waiting for the cheese to fall normally and knock it down, which would be slow.
All right, and this next level is optical. As the name implies, it's going to be based around optical illusions. But Archmage, do you want to like start off and explain a bit more about what we're going to be seeing here?
Yeah, totally. So, you know, as we walk in here, music changes. We've got the nice, you know, some nice like change in aesthetic. And yeah, the main thing with optical is just kind of making you do a double take. Like right here, that hallway is pretty weird, obviously. But yeah, just a lot of optical illusions, things lining up. Paintings on the wall will turn into actual objects when you line them up the right way, that kind of thing.
And we're going to see the first example of that in this next room over here, where we see that there's like painting on the wall to the left of me, and when I turn around, it's a cube. And we're going to see that a few times in this level. But right here with this cube, we're going to do the first like major skip of the run called jump resizing. Essentially, we take an object underneath us and we jump and resize it. It's a simple method of just jump, click, click. And with every jump resize, the object becomes progressively larger in front of you. All right.
Yeah, and you might have noticed a little bit through the run here, the game does have a ledge grab system, so it's a little bit lenient about your jumps. You don't have to be perfect. If you miss the jump by a little bit, it'll usually boost you up over the ledge, which is helpful.
Yeah, exactly. Unfortunately, we do try to like avoid ledge grabs as much as we can, because obviously the animation of ledge grabbing itself is slow in comparison to not doing so. But the game is kind of generous in certain cases with that, because of that. But yeah, we're just gonna come here to the end of optical right here and look up and, you know, grab the moon, as one does. And we're gonna take the exit sign that was on the moon and use it to get to the end of the level. The end of every level, well, not every level, like the majority of levels will end in this like elevator sequence. And so that's when you know like we're done with this level and we're gonna move on to the next.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, this game, the speedrun can be extraordinarily optimized. Like theoretically, you can complete the whole game like without almost without stopping. Obviously, there are limits, but like if your precision is incredibly good, it is theoretically possible to just keep moving forward because there's like no limit to how far away you can grab an object from. So the whole goal of the game is to just not stop, basically.
Exactly. So right here we are going to go into cubism. As the name implies, it's all about cubes. But ironically, the first puzzle, we're not going to be using a cube. And yet I screw up the skip for the cube. Second try is fine. But with the cubes, we kind of, again, have our expectations distorted here. Like every cube here, as you can see, is not really as it seems with every single puzzle.
That cube is actually just a section of the floor, you know, that kind of thing.
These cubes you think are going to be normal when you walk through the wall, but they're all wobbly. This is probably like one of the most optimized levels out there. You can technically finish this level without any ledge grabs. It's kind of hard to do and kind of hard to optimize it, but it's at the same time it's also like one of the easiest levels in the speedrun. Like this is like the level where everyone's time is like really close to each other on the leaderboard.
Yeah, totally. Everyone's reasonably close to the world record, but it's those last like milliseconds that are difficult.
Yeah.
So close. Yeah.
But that's fine.
Okay, yeah. Quick note on the
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Quick note on just these kind of the wiggly barriers in the doors that we've been seeing. Those are object barriers, so sort of like the fizzlers in the Portal series. They make it so you can't bring an object past them.
Exactly.
In the 80% run, you can push an object through there, but that's a glitch, of course. Not really the kind of thing we're doing here.
No glitches allowed here. But with that being said, this is also like, admittedly, like we're not, you know, immune to criticism. This is a very buggy game, and if you looked at any other category that has glitches in it, you would know that. And so we try to avoid glitches as much as possible, obviously, in the glitchless run, but we do have, you know, certain measures to prevent people from, you know, having their run completely ruined because they accidentally performed a glitch, because like I said, this game is very buggy. And so all you have to do is, if you perform a glitch that saves time, I want to emphasize that, all you have to do is reset checkpoint and then your run will still be valid. But
because it's super easy to. Oh yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to mention, it's super easy to accidentally launch a lot of, especially in this level. Basically, if your frame rate is a little bit too high, or even just at a regular 60 FPS, if you accidentally rub against the walls, they might just catapult you upwards, which is, you know, not really your fault. But yeah, this level here was a really interesting one. Really interesting one from a thematic perspective. You know, it seems like the game has gone horror. You know, you see, you know, missed the pit jump. That's tough.
It's because I went
like it never happens until it happens.
It's because I went for the left side instead of the right side. I usually go for the right side because it extends out of it more. And then I was just like, you know, I'm gonna go for the left side today. But I was a mistake. It was a mistake. I should not have gone for the left side.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, everything's dark. Look at that. That looks like a head. It's actually a chess pawn, you know, for the record, if you turn around. But yeah. But, you know, nothing actually, like, objectively. There are no real jump scares. The doors close behind you, but that's about it for this level.
But you can explain the blind maze here, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So coming up here, we've got an area where you would normally grab a light object that's in another room. But the thing is that, like, you can memorize the inputs you need to get through this maze, and on low graphics settings, there is actually a little sliver of light you can see.
That was really good.
So for this, for this one, you can just walk through based on memory.
That was a really good blind maze.
Nice. So yeah, this level there isn't actually too much other than walking in this level. You know, you had blind maze and some stuff with the stairs, but like for the most part, the level is mostly just kind of walking forward. And we'll kind of be doing just more of that to get to the end of the level here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. But yeah,
as you're seeing, the lights turn on. Yeah.
Yeah. The paint, the blood is just red paint, and it's Sunday, so they're serving beans in the cafeteria. But yeah,
exactly.
This level kind of takes perception is reality and puts it in a more metaphorical sense instead of like a literal sense, which I actually really enjoy, because when you see people play this casually for the first time, which I love doing, they are legitimately terrified when they come into this level, and then they like they get relieved, but at the same time like mad at the game for like scaring them once the level's over, which is always like a fun experience. Makes you wish you could play it again for the first time, you know.
Yeah, this level is Clone. That's the name of the level, and as the name implies, we're mostly going to be cloning objects here.
Ironically, the first puzzle doesn't actually involve cloning.
yeah, totally. So yeah, and then like kind of you grab that door, and then you come up here and you think, okay, I'm just going to grab this door, use it as a ramp or something, but no, it turns into stairs because you just clone it outwards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, for some of the objects in this level, clicking on them will just project a copy outwards. For some of them, clicking on them will allow you to grab them, but you'll grab a copy instead of the object itself. So
yeah, this game is incredibly selective on what rules it has for its cloning method. It doesn't really give you like a solid idea of what it means to like clone something, or like what the rules of our cloning. Like it changes every single time. Sometimes you can just clone them. Other times you can clone and grab them. It kind of like just based on whatever the puzzle wants you to do. You know.
Yeah.
You also are probably noticing that we're like jumping upstairs. That's part of like the little optimizations in this game. Your movement speed does decrease ever so slightly when you walk upstairs, and you know, so jumping upstairs will help, you know, mitigate that.
Yeah,
so
totally.
You wanna, like,
there's a story.
stuff like that, and you know, cutting small corners. It's all those kind of things that will help save time. And in a game that's incredibly as optimized as this one, you want all the time save you can get.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, just a note about the jumping upstairs. It's like sort of a complicated reason why it's useful. Basically, like when your forward movement speed has a maximum value, right? And when you're walking on horizontal ground, you're just going forwards. But when you're walking up a slope, it just takes your movement vector essentially and tilts it at an angle, right? So you're moving at whatever 4 meters per second, say, up the slope. But if you jump, it'll give you the upward speed, and so then you're moving upwards at however much per second, and then you're also moving forwards at 4 meters per second. So it basically just gives you extra speed up the slope.
Here we have Dollhouse, which is everyone's favorite level of the speedrun. Please note the sarcasm in my voice as I go ahead and perform the worst speedrun level in this game. It's incredibly difficult to optimize, incredibly difficult to perform well. It's like it's everyone's least favorite level in the speedrun. It's like incredibly fun though, but it's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's one of those things like it's incredible when you pull everything off perfectly, but like it's one of those things where you can get through the level, but there's like some like sort of almost invisible time loss you can have with stuff like making the house slightly too big, for example, right? And then that means you're smaller relative to the environments, and then that means you therefore walk slower than if you had made the house a little bit smaller. But if you make the house too small, like that house back there, for example, if you made that too small, you wouldn't be able to get through the second doorway. And
it's a very huge risk-reward relationship with Dollhouse. You know, you want to go fast, but you don't want to like sacrifice the consistency, nor do you want to mess up a trick so that you can't, go enter the other side of the portal or anything like that. But right here, we're going to take this fan and just knock down the Jenga tower by resizing it on the door, and then we're going to take this window and jump through it. Also, for some reason, the frame drops aren't a problem anymore.
Nice.
We don't know why.
Computer problems magically fixing themselves. Yeah. We love to see it.
And also, like, you can probably see there that I made that window too big, which made the area too big, which made me fall, like, which made me walk, like, really, really small. Like, that's another example of just how careful you want to be in this level. But Archmage, you were saying something before we went. So I
just want to mention, you might have noticed we grabbed the radio and used it to skip some stairs. I like to call that radio skip. It saves maybe milliseconds. We love it.
It's the most important skip in the game.
Absolutely. Crucial.
If you don't...
Yeah, this is Bouncy Castle.
It's not a valid run. Not really. But
exactly. How could you? Yeah. How could you skip it?
But anyway,
good Bouncy Castle there. This room is interesting.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we've got a set of 2 portals. Just grab one, put it up to where you want to go. Then walk through the other one. And then over here, you can see the end levels in a portal in this level, so you can just grab that portal, resize it quickly, and walk through.
Yeah.
And pretty good Dollhouse.
It was a decent
not like insanely good, but pretty decent. Especially at the end, it was very very clean.
It's actually pretty good. Right here, these next 2 levels are the 2 longest levels in the game. And we're going to play a Labyrinth. And what I'm going to do right here is a thing called audio skips. And you're going to see me do what seems like kind of just nonsense parkour, but it's not nonsense parkour, because this hallway right here, these series of hallways, is covered in 5 audio triggers, and we found a way to skip 3 of them, and only skipping 2 of them save time. And I missed the first one. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that seemed good. That's rough. Yeah, so basically the reason we want to skip the audio here is that the way the game's audio queuing system is set up, basically future voice lines that you trigger won't start playing until voice lines that are already playing have finished, basically. And the reason that's relevant here is because the last audio trigger has a scripted teleport at the end of it, which will, progress the level. So we want to get to that one as quickly as possible.
I accidentally pressed pause. Okay, game. Please work with me right now. This should work.
Yeah.
There we go.
Maybe.
Believe it or not, the missing the second one actually loses like 10 seconds. So when the other voice line stopped, it actually still would have saved time to keep trying for that. Then it would have to walk in the voice line. But right here in this next area, we're just going to line ourselves up because we're going to be teleported back to the main lobby in the bedroom area that we were in. And with that, we are going to line ourselves up, I think, 3 more times, so that because each time we're going to get teleported back to that beginning area. And with that, we want to just line ourselves up perfectly so that because our vertical position does not change, but our horizontal position does, and so we just keep spamming the button until we get teleported back so we can hit the alarm clock, because the doors behind you won't open until you do. Right here, we're going to do a frame perfect trick.
Yes, frame perfect.
Haha.
Very good, very funny joke.
Yeah. We love to see it.
We love it.
Tops off to Hippienator for coming up with that joke. I feel like during his ESA run for this game, he made that joke, which is great.
I think he might have. Yeah, absolutely legendary. But yeah, this level's mostly just like crazy. It's basically just completely built around subverting expectations. So gravity flips around, rooms are turned around randomly, doors do things that aren't normal, floors do things that aren't normal. It's a wacky level for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's great. Let's see here. We're gonna take this and just have it fall through the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Naturally. right?
Yeah, exactly. What else would you do with a set of stairs? Like, you don't climb upstairs. No, you use stairs to break a hole in the floor that you fall down through, obviously.
This puzzle right here is actually the hardest puzzle in the game casually, because the game does not tell you what you need to do. And essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm looking the opposite direction of where the sign is telling me to, because wherever I look first is going to have like the do not pass sign. It's going to just be a wall, but do not pass. And the opposite direction is going to be the door.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's a cool technology, cool concept, but it's like the kind of thing you basically can't. It's almost impossible to figure out just like based on that one puzzle. Yeah,
I've probably seen
people struggle there a lot.
I've probably seen hundreds of people figure it out. Hundreds of people play that level casually on Twitch, and 2 of them probably got it without help.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Neat concept though.
It is.
So yeah, here we've just got teleports that are tied to grabbing objects. So yeah, grabbing and dropping something or hitting the floor will cause a teleport here in a moment. And then coming up is elevator maze. An elevator maze is actually set. There's like a set path through it. So it's right, left, left, right. And once you know that, it's just easy as that. Yeah, you just walk through it.
You can explain this room too. This last room.
Okay, cool. Yeah, totally. So this last room, it looks like you're free, but when you get close enough to the 4 corners, or to the corners of the room, walls will show up and create that cool parallax effect. And then once all the walls have been filled in, a room will appear. And when you click that alarm clock, the level ends.
Exactly. And what we have here is the last level, white space. We're gonna take this clinic right here, just kind of walk through it and then create a paradox naturally.
As you do. Happens all the time.
Yeah. But yeah, essentially we put a portal into itself, which is obviously like scripted. Like it's obviously like a scripted thing where we just put the portal into itself and it creates this weird paradox thing where the universe around you is falling apart. A lot of this level is just walking. So if the host wants to say anything, they can.
For sure. You guys, this is a crazy run that's hurting my brain a little bit, but thank you, George, for your $1 donation. And you have a lot to explain in a quick time. This is an interesting run. Thank you.
Yeah,
I love this game. I just want to mention briefly about the putting a portal into itself. You can actually, via glitches, do that in the dollhouse level. But of course, when there isn't a scripted event to happen, all that happens is you usually just like fall out of bounds, and it's very sad, but interesting from a game design standpoint.
Explain this.
Oh yeah, this checkpoint reset. Totally, I almost forgot about this. So speaking of portals, there are kind of portals. A lot of levels in this game use kind of embedded portals to link disparate pieces of level geometry, and for the most part they work fine. But in this level, there's a portal in the kind of early in the level that actually makes you slightly smaller, which means you will walk slightly smaller too. So by resetting checkpoint there, it's just a way of reverting us to size 1 and restoring our speed back to normal.
Exactly.
It doesn't save very much time. It's like almost completely invisible, but it's about 3 seconds if you add it up over the course of the run, just by walking faster.
The other portals in the game are actually kind of messed up too, and you will progressively get slightly larger as the game goes on, which means your speed will be slightly faster. And so,
totally.
If you revert yourself back to size 1, then the rest of the portals will have the same effect still, and so you end up being size 1.02 or 1.03 or whatever the ending size is. You can go into practice mode, and you can actually see it yourselves.
Totally.
Size changes. Speaking of which, I don't know if the glitch showcase incentive was met. Gaffy Taffy, could you tell us that?
It was in fact met.
It was great. We love to see it.
So we'll be able to show off some of the glitches we've been talking about. That's awesome.
We have to go into the practice mod to do it, which does require a bit more setup. But we're able to see like the exact values of the player sizes in the game. So
here we've got Windows 11 just passed here. Very cool.
Yeah, Windows 11 back there.
Yes, very silly joke. Yes, yeah.
Right here, we're gonna turn off the lights. And this is kind of like this part of the game, like the crosshair gets removed, and so it's kind of supposed to like trick you into thinking, oh, that's the end of the game, but it's not. And you have to move your mouse. Like when that happens, you have to move your mouse, because if you don't, the crosshair on your mouse that disappeared, it will not come back. because it will only come back if you look at one of the signs. You have to move your mouse in that section.
Yeah, they're similar to...
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. So I was going to say, similar to that hallway in Labyrinth where you have to look a certain direction, and similarly frustrating as well, but like more frustrating for the speedrun, right? Because it means you can't just walk backwards. Your cursor just won't come back, which makes it much harder to aim where you're grabbing.
Okay, you want to...
Here we've got the chessboard. Yeah. This is a really neat section of the game. So basically, you're supposed to put kind of walk across slowly by progressively putting chess pieces on every square, right? One after the other. But we can just jump across using one, and because the tiles are only solid and there's a chess piece sitting on them, right? So what we have to do is we have to set it down before we actually land on the tile. But yeah, that was a great execution. Very clean.
Oh my god.
Here we have
fine, we can
careful.
just jump resize. Same thing. It's fine. We can just jump resize our way up.
Yeah. A little slower, but yeah, no, it's not a huge deal. Yeah. So here, normally there's this whole thing where there's like another random mechanics introduced where you have to put this cube through the door to make it an actual door.
Yes.
But instead, we can just jump with the cube up to this doorway here, which is where we want to go.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I actually did time it, and if you do the jump resize fast enough, it's still faster than going to grab the cheese.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Also, we forgot.
Yeah, typically what you'd want to do is
we forgot to add a photosensitivity warning right here, but
you're right. Yeah, we should have mentioned that. Yeah, this hallway is scuffed over your eyes. Okay, yeah, photosensitivity warning basically over. There's still going to be a flashing black on red numbers, so just fair warning.
Yeah.
Or red on black rather, but yeah.
But now you just have to wait for it to turn at 8 a.m. so we can wake up. Time, there's going to be a loading screen on here, and then we're going to enter the shortest level of the game, which is a second long, and then that's going to be time. So be ready on time, please.
Yeah, player input, the last basically player input thing is this alarm clock coming up.
Time. 23:42.1 in-game time. With the technical issues that we've had, I actually think that's good time.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Pretty decent.
Respectable.
Respectable indeed. What was my RTA, if you know what I'm asking?
Looks like 24:55. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it looks like 24:55 RTA, I think.
Oh, nice. Still underestimate. That's nice. That's good. But yeah, that has been Superliminal Glitchless. I do have another glitch showcase to go for you guys, so I'm gonna wait until that is over for like all of my plugs and goodbyes and stuff like that. Do you mind if we go to intermission, please? Because I do need to exit out of the game and like set something up in order to put the practice mod within the game. So if you guys don't mind, we could cut to intermission. We can just go straight back. It'll be a very quick setup. But yeah, stay tuned.
Sure thing.
Yeah, stay tuned.
All right, well, everybody give a hand. Let's see some GGs for Ozmourn. That was a super impressive run, even dealing with a little bit of technical issues. I don't know what in the world a glitch showcase in cases, since, well, that was quite a mess on my brain as it was, my eyes. And yes, we are just doing a quick intermission. Have to set something up for the showcase. I think it's loading like a practice save or something like that. No worries, George, no worries. Do want to give a quick thank you to the wonderful people at speedrun.com for putting us on the front page of their site.
Anything. If we die, don't bury me here. You're not going to go anywhere.
Promise me.
You're the one that changed. Skating is wherever you make it. Now you're finally making some sense. What's the plan? Now you're finally making some sense. Now you're king. Now you're king. That's your deal, man. Skating is wherever you make it. It didn't change. You're the one that changed. Now go skate. You'll remember why you started in the first. You'll remember why you started in the first place. You're the one that changed.
All right, looks like we are all set up and ready to go. Let's welcome him back, see what kind of showcase he has for us. All right, you are good to go, Oz.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gaffy. Hello, I am Ozmourn again. We're back with Superliminal. We had a bit of setup because I needed to install the practice mod into the game so that we can, get around a bit easier and perform some of these glitches for you guys. We do have a small list of glitches, and thankfully I have just the guy, Archmage, to help me explain them. The very first thing that we're going to be doing is known as... Oh, wait. If there's a timer on screen and you want to start it, because I know I said 15 minutes, you can start it in 3, 2, 1, now. So, with that, this is Superliminal Glitchless, but we're going to do glitch is showcase. I can speak today. We're going to no clip to where we want to go, which is the glitchiest thing we could do.
Yes.
A little thing we like to call cheating. But we're just going to reset checkpoint here. and we are going to perform what is known as a launch. You know that cube that we didn't use in Cubism at first? Well, we're going to use it now. And the way that a launch works is essentially the game just really doesn't like it when you and a prop share the same space. And so if we do this and make the prop so big, and then just jump, so that there's no space between us or the prop, and there's no space between the prop and the ceiling. When we jump up, the game is just like, I need to get rid of one of these two things, and it gets rid of us until we launch up in the air.
Totally.
However, that doesn't always work, mainly because it most of the time will work, but sometimes it doesn't work because in certain levels. Because primarily,
in certain instances, sometimes the game will decide to get rid of the object instead and shoot the object through the ceiling, and then it's gone, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main reason this works is it's really just a testament to the versatility of the resizing mechanic. You can make an object like as big as you want, basically with total freedom as a player, and so what that means is you can just make it so it fills the entire space above the player, which is pretty cool and also incredibly broken.
Right here, we're going to be doing a glitch called Red Out. It's another. We have like 3 types of launches in this game, but Archmage, do you want to explain like a warp launch and also Red Out and what it affects?
Yeah, totally. So a warp, basically when you warp an object, it's a way of tricking the game's object placement system. Make an object big, rotate inside yourself, and then when you release it, it'll be the size of the whole level, basically. Briefly, in this current patch of the game, there's delete triggers in the void out of bounds that will delete the object before the massive thing is rendered. But that doesn't apply to the lighting component of this light object here.
Yeah, exactly.
And so as we walk through the level, like you can see,
and I'm actually
basically the light object is the lighting component is intersecting the entire level. Oh yeah, turn on volumetric lighting.
I need to turn on volumetric lighting for this next part. Huge photosensitivity warning for anyone watching right now.
Yeah, it's just a strobe light coming up. Massive warning for this next part.
So as you can see,
here we are.
A red sun.
Yeah.
Everything is just
is red.
Just red and flashing. But yeah, you can see all of it. You can see literally even if you're inbound, if you go to parts of the level that are like way in the back, the entire level is just covered in red. Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah.
Because basically for a brief moment, the lighting object, like that sign, was that size, and then it got deleted, but it's still emitting light as though it were the size of the whole level.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's one of the more visually stunning glitches in this game, but there are some other broken ones we'll be seeing here before too long.
All right, right here we're gonna be doing what is called a warp, and Archmage, you can explain it because I keep forgetting how to explain warps.
Yeah, totally. Warps are crazy. Basically, it's same setup as Red Out, but this object doesn't emit light, so it won't do the cool thing. But basically, when an object is the size of the entire level, under certain circumstances, when you drop it, you will be pushed to the edge of the object, like all the way, like instantaneously. It's just a teleport, essentially. And that's pretty crazy. It's very hard to control. But the any percent run is insane. You're basically just using this glitch in every level to teleport yourself to the end. But it's very hard to get perfectly, because sometimes you just end up in the void and you don't know where you are and you're too far away to get anywhere.
I'm gonna try it 3 times.
So very precise, very frustrating, but incredibly fascinating from a conceptual level.
I'm gonna try it 3 times just so.
It's really cool when you can pull it off.
At least one more time, just so I can show you guys where the warp is supposed to lead. Yeah. Okay, you can just... Oh, the object came back. Okay, I can just try again. No, I can't. It disappeared.
It'll go into the frame. Interesting glitch.
Yeah, it's very interesting. But I can just try again here, and we're going to try one more time.
Yeah, so the garbage cans in this level have a scripted thing where if you put an object in them, they'll spit it back out at you. When you warp an object, every trash can thinks the object is inside of it simultaneously. Oh, nice.
But as you can see, if you get a perfect warp, you can just enter like right here, but into the elevator.
Yeah, which is really cool. I believe Ozmourn used to hold the IL record for optical any percent.
And now you do.
Before I stole it ruthlessly.
Archimage and I are at a war for any percent ILs.
Yeah.
It's never
Specifically optical. Optical is a fun one. You can just kind of
I'll come for your clone.
turn your brain off and do the same thing over and over again until it works. Yeah.
I'm gonna come for your clone one day. So.
I'll be ready.
Yeah. But right here, what we're gonna be doing is Dollhouse. I'm gonna play these next 2 levels in their entirety, just so you can get an idea of how weird, how fast we can do it in the warpless run. So right here in Dollhouse, we can just take this soda can, and it essentially does the exact same thing as a launch, but right here we're going to be doing what's something known as a push launch, where we take this soda can, we have it tilted slightly towards us, we push it up against the wall so that the game launches us out when we up against it. And then right here in Dollhouse, if you put your cursor at a very specific spot, come on, you see that the hand comes up. And what I just grabbed was the final Dollhouse to the end of the level. Because a lot of the objects in this game have infinite grab distance, so you can grab them at any size and make them any size that you want. And that includes everything that doesn't have, that includes everything that, you can see through the level geometry. And so with that, you can just get the Dollhouse from incredibly far away.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the more crazy glitches in the run. Is just
exactly.
Yeah, it's just the end of the level right there, right from the beginning straight to the end.
And speaking of levels that you can go straight from the beginning to the end with, Labyrinth is another one. As you see, we did audio skips to skip the audio triggers for this level, but we're for some reason not doing it here, because and you're gonna find out really quickly. You see here at the end of this hallway, there's an elevator, but we couldn't go in there because it was blocked off. There was a brick wall. But wait, what happens if we just do this? Oh,
almost.
No, almost. Come on. Sometimes it's a bit finicky. There we go.
Yep.
You can just clip into the elevator. And for some reason, this elevator works, and you can just end the level.
Our theory is that they just copy-pasted the elevator asset, because why would they need to worry about it, right? Why would they need to remove the components, right? When you could just block it off. No player is going to be able to get in there, right? But as it turns out, there's a glitch where the ledge grab mechanic will sometimes ledge grab you too well, and it'll clip you through walls to ledge grab you onto something.
You want to explain what I'm doing?
Oh yeah, white space. This game is broken, man. I love it. But not in a way that really messes up the casual player experience. That's what's nice about it, is you can break the game if you want to, but it's not necessarily going to break without you trying to. And I can appreciate that.
What I just did
was that's a whole combination of things there.
Yeah, what I just did there was I essentially put the clinic itself out of bounds, and with that I was able to go into, because this part of the area that is clipped into has a bit of a level geometry above the starting area. It's placed right above the starting area in the level geometry, and so I could just exit the clinic in that out of bounds area and then go straight to this last portion of the level. I always turn it the wrong side here, but with that, you see that if you make the clinic really, really small, when you created a paradox, the game has this fail-safe feature for when you put the clinic through the door to create the paradox, in which it'll put you back to size 1 in order to prevent you from soft locking. However, the game devs kind of overlooked a very important aspect that they didn't really need to worry about, but we're speedrunners, so we're gonna exploit it, where if you put the clinic through literally any door in the game, it will make it so that you go back to size 1, and so we can just go over here into this little section. Speaking of which, everyone say hi to the pain egg. And
yes, that's our name for it in the community. Just smiling, Just smiling through the pain.
Just smiling through the pain. For every object in these constellation rooms are gonna glow in the dark. So we bring this pain egg. Speaking of the pain egg, we're actually gonna bring this pain egg to the end of the level with us. And what we're gonna be doing right here is I'm just put you right here, and we're gonna appropriately, we start the warpless run with a like a chess launch out of bounds, and we're going to do the exact same thing here if I could get it right. Thank you.
Here we go.
And we're going to
Nice.
see if we can bring the pain egg with us to the end of the level. Please, please, please. There we go.
Careful. Nice.
Please.
Yeah, totally. And right here, you can just fall to the end of the level.
There you go.
It's just that easy.
You can just fall. Yeah, right here we're out of bounds, and we can fall to the end of the level. This isn't even the fastest way to complete this, but I haven't learned the fastest way, so this is what we're going to be dealing with.
Yeah, the fastest strat, I'll just mention it briefly. You put the clinic out of bounds, you make yourself really big, but instead of returning yourself to normal size, you just go through, re-grab the clinic, walk until you fall off the edge of the surface plane that you're on in the level. Then you walk backwards until you're directly underneath the end level trigger, and then you release the object to launch yourself into the end trigger, and that ends the level.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is even more crazy and impossible to explain. It's impossible to say like what you're looking at when you see it, which is really cool.
And time. That is the end of the glitch showcase. That is all the glitches that we wanted to show off. Obviously, there's a little smaller ones that we could have shown off, but we wanted to keep it to the more interesting ones. But
yeah, totally.
Yeah, thank you so much to Gerri, Aid, and SpeedDocs for having us on here. We really, really love to show this game off to more people. Speaking of which, if you're interested in running this game, look us up on Superliminal.com, join the Discord. We've been getting a lot of attention recently, mainly because we started a tournament for the Glitchless category. And so if you're interested in, obviously signups are closed at the moment, but if you're interested in, say, learning the game and then commentating or helping out in any other way for the tournament, we still have those signups open. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, we'd be more than happy to have you. We need all the help we can get. And with that, thank you so much to, again, SpeedDocs for having us. Thank you. Shout out to everyone in the Superliminal community that has grinded this game down to the bone in order to optimize it. But yeah, Archmage, you want to have anyone you want to shout out or anything you want to say before we head out?
Not too much. Just want to say thanks so much for having us. A blast. Yeah, it was good to be here.
I've been Ozmourn, and thank you again so much for watching Superliminal, Glitchless, and the Glitch Showcase. I'm going to be back later tonight for Ape Out, so I will see you guys then. Bye.
Thank you again, Ozmourn. Can we get some GGs again? A little bit of love for these runners?